we survived it up there last night. It's a really good night, to be honest with you. I didn't quite know how to follow that vlog up, so I thought perhaps we'll talk about last night to start off with. Yeah, we did it. It was enjoyable. It was a bit of a laugh. Obviously, we weren't taking it too seriously, but there was definitely some sort of eerie feeling, probably just because we was in a graveyard in the dark, which is a bit dodgy by itself, isn't it? Would any of you guys have done that? We just must be mad. Anyway, when we got back, obviously I took 3 or 4 photographs as well. I didn't take a lot. And I just sent one to Ryan this morning, early on this morning. And he messaged me back saying, there's a face watching us. And I looked at it again and thought, it does look like that, doesn't it? In the clouds we're talking about. So I've got that up on screen now. And I kind of looked at it and thought, let's have a look through the other photographs. So I think there's only 2 or 3 of the sky. And here's the second one. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to spot it. But what I'm going to do is I've drawn red lines on it. So we'll turn it on and off so you can kind of see where I think the face is. And once I've done that, I'll put the other photo back up and I'll do the face on that one as well a few times. So I'll just leave that with you for a sec. Well, of course, that's all open to interpretation, isn't it? And I think sometimes we see what we want to see. But it was intriguing nonetheless. So what I was kind of what I was wondering is, do any of you actually believe in any of that sort of stuff? Do you believe in the paranormal, the supernatural? So I thought I'd kind of give you my take on it and a couple of little stories that I've got. As regards ghosts, I don't know. I think a lot of it, as I just said, you can see what you want to see sometimes. And if you had a few beers or you had a bit of happy smoke or something like that, I'm sure you're going to see more than you would on a normal night. And it's funny that a lot of the sightings that we seem to hear about on New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, and all those sort of times where you might be having a few beers. But anyway, as for the paranormal and supernatural, well, I believe there's things around us you can't see. I honestly do, because if you just think about UV, or if you think about infrared, there's certain spectrums our eyes can't see. So why would we be so arrogant to believe that there aren't things around us that can only be seen in that light? So you might see some sort of insects can only see in a certain wavelength as well. So also that I do believe in. I'm not saying I believe in psychics, but I think we've all got some sort of ability to predict what's going to happen. Now, this might just be through experience of life, but sometimes it's a bit odd. And I'll tell you a couple of ones, and Lee would back me up on these because it's to Lee that I said it. Quite a while back. Well, let's go to Princess Diana first. When Princess Diana died, we was actually on holiday in Yarmouth, and I with the kids. And I remember waking up that morning and was in a bed and breakfast, and the man who was obviously the host told us what happened. And I thought, wow. And obviously we heard a few things. And later on in the day, do you know what I said to Lee? I said, Mother Teresa's next. She's going. And within a few days, she was gone as well, wasn't she? Taken away from us. So that was one little thing. Of course, that can just be a coincidence. But why would I even think of Mother Teresa? I'm not a holy person or anything like that. Why that would even cross my mind? Even that person alone crosses my mind, let alone saying that about her. So that one's an odd one. I also woke up one morning and said to Lee, this was when the Monaco GP was on. Quite a few years ago, I think when Jenson Button was driving for Lucky Strike, the Honda one, was it, with the red Lucky Strike on it? I think it was, before Honda went to that silly Earth livery. But anyway, I digress. The morning I woke up, and I said to Lee, I said, Jenson Button is going to have an horrific accident today. And I said, and he just is. And I said, but he's going to survive it. Well, he had an absolutely huge off. Smashed into a wall, not on one of the side walls at Monaco, but one of the ones on the inside. I think it's after you come out the tunnel, go down that hill and there's a chicane, and he just went straight on and into another wall. Car was absolutely totaled. But yeah, so, and there's been many other instances like that. So again, you can call it coincidence, you can call it intuition, I don't know. But do I believe in people talking to the dead? I don't think so. But sometimes I feel, again, this is, I think you can feel emotional at different times and you'd be more vulnerable or more susceptible to different ideas. But I do sometimes think that people have spoken to me from up there or telling me something. That could just be my mind saying, Paul, do this, or Paul, don't do that, or this, that and the other. You get what I'm saying. But sometimes, I mean, I remember my granddad that I hardly knew in England, not my Irish grandparent, but the English one. Oh, I'll tell you something about that in a minute as well. But I'm sure my English granddad has spoken down to me. I only knew him for a few years, very short years. Lovely man, I do remember that about him. He died of pneumonia after catching the flu, and I believe. And yeah, but that's that. But my other granddad in Ireland, now obviously because he lived in Ireland, we lived in England, very rarely saw him. But he did come over to our house in Farley Hill in Luton. And I don't remember saying this, but my mum has told me, because I was very young. And apparently I believe I was sitting on my granddad's knee. And I said to him, Granddad, I'll never see you again. And it was like, what? And I was basically saying, you'll be dead. And my mum's always remembered that, because yes, he died fairly soon after that too. It's terrible, isn't it? So there's things like that. What do you think? Do you think there's something in it? Do you want us to do a few more ghosty ones, a few more spooky ones? Because there are a couple of places. A place called, I think it's Woodford, or Wood something or other, up in Northampton, which is supposed to be one of the most haunted villages in the UK. And also apparently in, I think it's St Mary Virgin church there, has a heart in one of the pillars. You can see it, it's in a glass box, but it was a heart from years and years ago, which stayed intact apart from being mummified, or going mummified itself. You can even apparently see the heart valves, although they've gone black. So, and there's lots of little stories around there. So I didn't know whether we should do another one around there. Obviously, I'm not going to turn this one into a nutter channel. But you never know, I quite enjoyed it last night, as I said. So, well, let me know in the comments what you think about it all. And I say, have you ever had any weird experiences? There was one more experience I could talk about, actually, when I was quite young, was Stockwood Park, Luton. I used to live in the police houses across the road from it, directly opposite the park. Lovely place in them days. And there was a couple of us. There was a couple of us down at, it's called the Mossman Collection now. It's an old bell tower, and it's where the, in, you know, olden days, there was horses and carts were stationed there. So it was obviously some sort of route through originally. Probably going down to London, I would guess, as it was in Luton. But there was a bell tower there, and there was no bell in it. Okay? But there were stories of hearing the bell tolling. And we kind of sniggered it off, really, because there are churches in the region, you know, not too far away from it. I'm sure, I think it was St John's Church there, a Church of England. I'm sure if that had been ringing its bells, you could have, if the wind was in the right direction, you could believe that it was coming from the bell tower in Stockwood Park. So we went over there, and we were too young to be drinking or anything like that, or smoking weird shit, or glue sniffing, or whatever we used to do in them days. So we were completely awake, and I think we'd actually got out. We were supposed to have been home. I think I might have got told off for this, because we were never really supposed to be out after dark. But we were sitting over there, probably 100 yards away from it, and we were kind of spooking each other up a little bit. And bugging me, we heard the bell toll, and it was definitely coming from there. So God knows how. This isn't a day of electronics, so it couldn't have been, you know, funny little speakers or nothing. No, it was, you know, and it was, we all looked at each other, what the hell is that? And then two of us swore that we saw a horse and a man go across towards what was a running track now in Stockwood Park, but that would have been from the back of the horse stables. So and obviously there hadn't been anything in there for many years, centuries, I think. So, well, certainly a century. So there you go. So there's my little stories. What stories have you got? Let us know in the comments. This is where I'd like us to have something like MeWe, a proper group, not on Facebook, but where we could all share these stories. That's why I ask everyone to try different media, social media. People have been saying about Discord again, but I'm not sure enough of us know how to use it. I mean, I could certainly work it out, but yeah, you got to kind of use something that's familiar, but then on the other hand, I don't want to use Facebook. So I guess that's just what you have to do it in the comments. Or email us at letstalk@thevlogcouple.com. Let us know your stories. What's going on, Hector? Have you seen a ghost? What's going on? I know, it's weird, mate. You just went ape, didn't you? I don't think there's anyone there, mate. Can't see anyone. What do you think? Is it? It's off. Asylum. Plenty of them. I just wanted to show you all something, because if you look at the little meter down the bottom that you can see the speaker, at the moment there's a magnet in its screen. This is electromagnetic testing to do with the ghost thing. When I move it towards a window, look how it changes. So there's something out there. Now, it's not a ghost, it's got to be something electromagnetic, and I'm wondering if it's something. I'm going to go outside and try and have a look. I'll tell you what I'm wondering, whether it's the electricity boxes over there, the ones that are outside our boat. So I'm going to have a little walk over and see if that meter goes up. So bear with me a sec, I'll turn us around. Right, let's go over to where the window is for a start of the boat. And go over here. No, it's not. So it's something in the boat. Let's go back towards the boat. Go back towards my window. See if it goes up. It's going back up when we get to the window. What on earth could that be, everybody? That's spooky. Is Hannah the narrowboat haunted? Doom? See, now I'm going back towards the window. We're getting doom. And look! I know what it is. It's my MacBook. It's got to be the MacBook, look. There you go. There's no bloody ghosts. Well, I guess we're coming to the end of this one, aren't we? Because I tell you what, we're 2/3 of the way through now. I think this is number 20, isn't it? So God, isn't it flying by? I'm wondering how you guys, or what you guys think about it all. As the subject's been just too mental. Because obviously they're swinging from one thing to the next, aren't they? It's not a single subject at all. I mean, I've been quite enjoying doing it. So, yeah, what kind of things do you like? I'm not asking you to tell me to be a performing seal or anything, because I'm not going to do that. But I did kind of wonder what kind of vlogs that we're doing at the moment are your favourite type. Is it the cooking? Is it the chatty one? Is it the ranting ones? Is it the spooky ones? Is it doing the things like the towns and talking about those, the church and all that sort of stuff? So yeah, let us know in the comments. Just be interesting to know. I would like to say thank you all for the ones that have been watching it. It's good to have you aboard. I think it's been a bit of a laugh. And if you haven't subscribed, well, why not? Don't cost nothing. And we could do with the viewing figures, because they are a bit small. But anyway, let's say I'm having a really good time doing it. Having a laugh. Hope you're enjoying it. And I think all that's left to say is see you at the same time tomorrow. Bye.